Welcome to my podcast. If you've seen any of my other vlogs, you know that this is not the norm. However, we're doing it together, okay? We're doing it together. This vlog essentially is going to serve the purpose of remembering what it was like that time that Liz signed up to do a half marathon. I'm not competitive. I've never been athletic. I've never competed in anything. And the most sports that I've ever done was probably wiffle ball in the dead-end street of where I grew up. With that being said, about 3 years ago, I did start running. It was honestly more of like a stress reliever and just knowing that I should probably do something active, and it was cheap, aka you needed a pair of sneakers. Since then, however, I've been running maybe like 1 to 2 times a week. I got a friend of mine to start the dangerous addiction of running. And said friend has now convinced me that we're ready to do a half marathon. We are signed up for the Jersey City / Newport half marathon. It goes from, I guess, like downtown, I don't even know actually. All that I know is that it's flat, it is paved, and it goes through Liberty State Park, and then you can see Ellis Island, and then I think we go back downtown. I'm not really sure. So most of the training that I've been doing since I signed up for the half marathon, I've been using the Nike Run app, which is really great if you have never tried running and you're thinking about it. It's a free app that you can have like a voice in your ears, basically coaching you along from beginner to expert, though I guess if you're expert, you probably don't need an app to tell you how to run. The runs that I typically do on a week-to-week basis go from recovery, which are just really easy, to speed runs, to long distance runs. From those long distance runs, building a greater distance until you get to the 13.2. I feel like a dork because I wanted to map out and see my progress. I know that I use Strava and you can see the distance that you ran that week, the frequency and all those things, but I wanted a more big picture. I ended up printing out a calendar and then writing on it the gym days that I did and then the running days that I did. So the RNG yellow ones are all of my runs from this month. I know, I am such a dork. But I did this because I needed a way to see like, hey, what I'm doing is like enough, because you kind of get the imposter syndrome and then you start to feel like, what am I doing? I feel a little bit nervous. Can I actually do this? So all of those things. And it kind of helped me see, okay, I'm doing a lot actually. Because I am a pretty disciplined person, it wasn't hard to get into the rhythm. I also was already running a little bit beforehand. That gave me a little bit of an advantage, but I was never training and learning how to do it necessarily. It was just, I'm gonna run and then decide how far I was gonna run. I didn't really take into account the fact that there were smart ways to run and ways to build endurance in a safe way and to not injure yourself. Right now we're at the end of June, so I have about 13 weeks, actually from today, it's Saturday, so 13 weeks from today. So as I said, I will run multiple times a week. Usually it's like 3, maybe 4, the 4th being like a warm-up that I do when I'm at the gym on the treadmill before I go and do exercise for other things. With all of that said, I really don't have like a recommendation for this is the type of sneaker you should wear and you should do a belt instead of a vest. Like I run with my phone in my pocket and I still use wire headphones because that's just the way I like it. I'm always paranoid that if I did AirPods, they'd fall out of my ear and then I'd never find them again. My hope is that I can do a follow-up vlog saying this is kind of how it's going and all that stuff. This is just kind of my introduction. I think a big motivator of wanting to do this half marathon was also the fact that I always felt like I could never do that. I also said that I could never run 1 mile without walking. And the day that I did that, I was like, maybe I could. Since my friend and I are running together, we've been doing weekly, as far as we can, we've been doing weekly runs together. Our goal would be able to run a sub 2.5 hour, which we're trying to be conservative with our goal just because, like I said, We're not professionals. We're also not very tall, so our legs don't carry us quite as far. With all of that said, I do thank you for watching, and also thank you for all of the support that I've received thus far when people hear that I'm doing one. I've had people encourage me and cheer me on, even now in the early stages, has meant a lot. It's very intimidating. It's really scary to say that you're doing something so big and then be responsible for doing it. I also paid for it, so there's that incentive too. Also, shout out to LEN Studio for hooking me up with the nice backdrop, the nice microphone, the latte, and the camera gear to do this. If you or someone you know is looking for a studio space to rent out, there are available bookings with various backdrop settings and things like that. So check them out. Love you, babe.